Leadership Nation, Christopher Hart here with Transforming Lives Coaching and Consulting, coming to you with another Lead Strong Leadership Development video. Welcome to our video. If this is your first time, we welcome you. We invite you to go ahead, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and click on the little arrow or the bell that allows you to turn on being notified when we go live, as we tend to do these every single day. Or if you're watching on replay on our YouTube channel, welcome. Feel free to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that we can continue the journey with you in helping grow strong leaders who become more influential and thus more impactful in their lives and in their world around them. And so today's video is titled, "The One Thing Every Leader Must Possess." And we're going to talk about two words that kind of create a compound word of sorts, that when we talk about helping leaders be more influential and impactful in their own world, this is the one thing you must possess in order for that to happen. As well, if you want to be more influential and impactful in the world around you through those that you lead, you must possess this as well. And so without further ado, the words are self-discipline. And so what we're going to cover today is understanding self-discipline. As we always do in all of our videos, if you're one of our followers, you know definitions of words to understand what they truly mean, help us to truly live out what the words can do for us as a stronger leader. So we're going to define what it is, and we're going to look at the what, the why, the how to, and the how not to. Okay? So some very simple understanding about self-discipline. So first and foremost, we look at it's actually two words that are hyphenated that come together to create one word. And what we understand about that is self, right? It's something about ourselves that we must possess. And what is that? Discipline. Okay? And so we're going to look at how do we possess it within ourselves so that we can utilize that as a resource to be stronger leaders who are more influential and more impactful in other people who, guess what, possess the same thing, self-discipline. Because when you possess self-discipline, then others can too. You can possess it into others. You can use it as a resource for other people to be resourceful so that when they possess it, it makes your leadership journey that much easier, makes you a stronger leader, makes you and them more influential, and everybody more impactful. So let's jump into it. What is self-discipline? Well, I'm going to make it real simple. It's disciplines that we possess within ourselves. Okay? And ultimately, we'll look at here in a second exactly what it's defined as from Merriam-Webster as our resource to define words. But it's really disciplines that become habitual for us. They're not things that we have to be purposeful about. They become natural for us, okay? Because all people are nothing more than a compilations of patterns and habits. So we want to make these disciplines habitual in our life. And when they're habitual, that's when they're a self-discipline. Outside of the habitual nature, they're a forced discipline. They require us to be purposeful. A self-discipline is a discipline that is natural and habitual to you. So with that, what is discipline? Discipline is defined from Merriam-Webster as a rule or systems of rules that govern behavior and action. Okay? So when we look at self-discipline, what is it? Rules or systems of rules. There's things that we're going to create within our own lives that naturally and habitually that we do, that we live by these rules that are going to govern our actions and our behaviors. Okay? So when we understand that, we want to look at why is it important to have these rules and systems of rules that govern our actions and behaviors such that they become natural to us and make us more impactful and influential, is because here's what we believe about leadership. Leadership is defined as helping others, become more influential, more impactful, helping others get what they want when they want. A number of different definitions that really orient themselves around other people. Well, the reality is, if you can't lead thyself, we believe you cannot effectively lead others at a very high level. Can you lead others without leading yourselves? Yes, people are doing it. Massive amount of people are doing it every single day. But if you want to be a strong leader, to maximize your influence and impact on others and in the world, you must be able to lead thyself. Okay? Plato was actually quoted as saying, leading thyself is the first and, he says the first and best victory is to lead thyself. Okay? And in our 6-level leadership program, our very first level is to be a great follower. Second level is to lead thyself. Why? Because if you can lead yourself, then you can lead, quite frankly, anyone. And without effectively leading yourself, you cannot effectively lead. Okay? So that's why we understand self-disciplines to be so important. Is it because it allows us to effectively lead ourselves and in turn effectively lead others by providing them the same resource that we possess in being able to habitually and naturally take actions on the things that are important to us. Okay? So how do we do this? What are the how-tos of being self-disciplined? I believe the very first one is we need to make the actions and behaviors that are important, that need to be natural and purposeful, they need to be a priority. And a priority is defined as something that supersedes everything else. These disciplines that you feel you need to possess in order to achieve your goals, to lead yourself before you can lead other people effectively, they need to be a priority. They need to be recognized in your psyche that these are actions and activities that supersede everything else. They have a high level of priority in your life. The second thing is, once it becomes an identified priority, you need to prioritize it. Okay? You need to actually take it and say, hey, out of all the things that I need to do today, I identify these things are a priority. It's one thing to identify them. It's the next thing to actually account for them. So that if you look at all the things that you need to do in a single day, and let's say this self-discipline, and this self-discipline are a priority, then guess what? This one needs to be 1, this one needs to be 2, this one needs to be 3, and then you fill out the rest of your day with everything else. And then after that, once you identify them as a priority, and then you actually start calendaring, how about that? Put them in your calendar, and then you have to hold them accountable. You have to make sure that you do everything in your power to make sure that they happen. And if it's a forced self-discipline, meaning you actually have to be purposeful, and if you have to go get external realms of accountability, I mean you have an accountability partner, you have someone that's holding you accountable, a coach, a consultant, a mentor, then add those layers of accountability. And then the next thing you need to do is you need to remove your excuses. But before you remove them, you need to identify them. Look, you already know what the excuses are that are holding you back from the self-disciplines that you must possess to effectively lead yourself and thus effectively lead other people. Identify those excuses and then remove them. Okay? Now, last but not least, actually before I go to number 4, the last thing we must do, how to create self-disciplines, must take action. It's one thing to identify them. It's one thing to identify the priorities. It's another thing to prioritize them. It's another thing to put them in your calendar and have elements of accountability. But you must take action on them. Your day is not complete. So what does that mean? They must become your goal. These are not have to do things. These are must do goals. That at the end of the day, when we talk about winning the day, taking action on your disciplines that you must possess within yourselves are your daily goals. And at the end of the day, you account for them. And if you did them, then you have won the day. And then your goal becomes, how do you win 7 days out of the week? Okay? And then you win the week, and then you win the weeks, and then the months, and then the years. And then eventually, I promise you one thing, repetition day in and day out over a sustained period of time will allow these disciplines to be within yourself. Now, here's the piece that we have to look at. How not to. Okay? What are the elements of things that you must recognize to make sure that these things do not show up in your life that are going to cause you to not be self-disciplined? And what that is, it's really simple. It's one thing. It's not trading in the moment for the discipline. Okay? It's not trading in the moment for what you want most. Because what we understand about these self-disciplines, these become our goals. See, to be a truly effective leader of the self and others, it's really about stacking self-disciplines and making them habitual. See, most people think that the biggest goals are, I want to make $1 million, I want to write a book, I want to be a #1, bestseller, New York Times bestseller, I want to make X amount of money, I want to be rich. All these big goals, they're all frivolous in life, and they do not become a reality unless you possess the self-disciplines. Greatest advice I can give a leader is your biggest goals in life are to stack the most amount of self-disciplines. If you do that, I promise you all your other external goals will become easier and unnecessary because of the fact that you possess these self-disciplines. But the thing that's going to take you away from these self-disciplines that are going to allow you to effectively lead yourself and other people is that you trade in the moment for the thing that you want most. And if you look at your self-disciplines and you tell your psychology, these self-disciplines are what I want most in life. I want to lose that. I want to correct my weight by 50, 100 pounds over the course of the next 12, 18, 24 months. I want that most. The self-disciplines are eating healthy and exercising every single day. I want that more than I want the piece of pizza, the burger, the Wendy's, the fries, the milkshakes, the things that create the temporary pleasures that prevent us from the permanent pleasures of our lives. Do not trade in what calls for it in the moment over what you want most. Look at all those areas of your life, spiritually, familiarly, with your family, with yourself, with your health, your wellness, your riches, your future. What are the things that are going to pull you away from the thing you want most that creates the self-disciplines that become the very nature of a very temporary pleasure? You know what it is, right? When someone says, hey, you guys want to go get ice cream? Or, hey, man, it's just one beer. Just have one beer with me. No, man, I'm trying to remove that out of my life. I'm trying to be more disciplined with my health. And that's not something it's just one beer. It's just one ice cream. It's just one piece of pizza. It's just one day off from the gym. It's just one day of not lead generating. Well, guess what? Those just one moments are trading in the moment for what you want most. Look, leaders, here's what I believe. I believe if you continue to stack self-discipline after self-discipline on your journey to effectively lead yourself, you possess the necessary resources to be resourceful, to help others on their journey to peak performance and massive success for what they want in your life. Because when you possess those resources, people are going to be attracted to you because they too want to know how to do it for themselves. And they'll attract to your world. You know how to do it. You know how to help them fight through it and accomplish that which they desire to accomplish in their life. And that's when you become a high-level leader. Look, I hope this brought massive value to not just your business, your organization, but your life as well. If you liked what we had to say in this video, if you're watching it on YouTube, give us a like. If you're watching it on Facebook, give us some thumbs up. I'd love to hear your comments. Whatever questions you may have about self-disciplines, feel free to put it in the comment section. We'd love to continue the coaching process online, past today, and quite frankly, forever. If you'd like to reach out to me for a free, no obligation consultation on how self-disciplines can be stacked and habitual in your life, feel free to reach out to me, Chris@transforminglivescoaching.com, or check out our website, transforminglivescoaching.com. Thank you for joining me today. Remember one thing, God loves you, so do I. Lead strong and have a blessed rest of your day.